unless you're a Liverpool fan. That's it. Like that's the only that's the only time I prejudge you is if you say you support Liverpool. But I wanted to ask as well about another statement that came out from the PGMOL yesterday, and the newspapers have really attached this to Arsenal, and that was Michael Oliver receiving a death threat, and they've come out and condemned it, and rightfully so. There is no place for that in this sport. But the media and the PGMOL in their statements and then in the media headlines since have connected it to, and they've named like the red card for Lewis Skelly, etc., to be involved in this. But when you go and delve into it deeper and look at the chronological order, the death threat came 3 weeks ago after the Liverpool game and has nothing to do with this red card that's just happened. So I look at it sometimes and I just feel
that's
like
mad. I didn't actually know that. Yeah, that's mad.
Why I've titled the video, like, are Arsenal being targeted a little bit here? Because they're complaining about a decision, which we all know was a joke. Maybe, well, I'm assuming all three of us think it's a joke. But then a statement is released. There's headlines kind of condemning Arsenal for this, but the death threat came 3 weeks before this game. I just find it, again, maybe I'm wrong here, but it feels a little bit like, let's throw this out there. Let's get the media to be a little bit complicit, like involved with us. Make sure a few big boys maybe retweet it or maybe talk about it in a few days to stop the complaints for what was, again, according to Keith Hackett, according to Mike Dean, even Dermot Gallagher, one of the worst refereeing decisions that we've ever seen in the Premier League. Suddenly they're connecting death threats, which are horrific, and I have sympathy with Michael Oliver. The media are connecting it to Arsenal when it has nothing to do with Arsenal. For me, that's off key.
It's interesting because I didn't actually realise the death threat had come out 3 weeks before that game. It had only been reported, funnily enough, as you say, after the Arsenal incident. In terms of the incident, it is a joke, isn't it? I mean, I think everybody can agree that. There are some people that think it's a blatant red card, but I think they're just being, they obviously don't like Arsenal, which obviously comes with the rivalry of football, right? But I look at the scenario of Michael Oliver, and I think there are Arsenal fans that genuinely do think he is poor when he referees our games. 8 red cards now, that's mad. I don't know another ref that's sent off 8 players from the same team. That is absolutely mental. But what I will say is that they all make mistakes, and they're pretty shambolic. And that was why I was really upset, was because the mistake was quite a bad one, in my opinion. What didn't make him look any better and gave more ammo to Arsenal fans was when he gave a second yellow to Gomez after giving us straight red. So I was like, wow, you really are not doing yourself any favours here, Oliver. Look, what I will say, though, no matter how bad he is or you think he is, you shouldn't abuse anyone. Because, and I've used a scenario of this before, there are great doctors out there and there are shocking ones. There are great policemen out there. There are shocking ones. There are great firemen, teachers, and every other profession out there. There are some shocking ones. And we've all probably met them. You don't abuse them. You don't start coming for their family and start threatening them. That's just madness, absolutely madness, in my opinion, that people are trying to find his home address and all this crap and send the boys round and all this absolute nonsense. That sort of stuff, you cannot condone that. No matter how much you think he's poor at his job or no matter how bad you think he is as a person, you can't do that. That's just mad. So I don't believe that is what should happen. So I think personally you can criticize, but you cannot abuse. That's the way I see it, and I think that there's an element of criticism deserved in a lot of the referees this season. There's been a lot of inconsistencies, and I think that it's not just him. You speak to any Chelsea fan, they don't want Anthony Taylor refereeing any of the games. You speak to Arsenal fans, they don't want Michael Oliver refereeing any of the games. And on top of that, they will bring up the Michael Oliver situation with Man City, Dubai. They'll bring up the fact he's a Newcastle fan and he's not allowed, I don't think, to referee any Newcastle games, all that kind of stuff. So for me, you don't abuse, you can criticise, and I can understand why Arsenal fans were frustrated after Lewis Skelly red card. I thought it was madness. I've never seen a red card like that. You're going to get rival fans that are like, yeah, it was a red, and just laugh at it because they want him sent off, which I'd probably do if it was a Spurs or Man United player, right? But come on, it wasn't a red card. It was silly. It was a late tackle. I think everyone expected it to be a yellow card. And when it was a red, it was like, rah, this is mad. So that's what I would say about that incident. I don't agree with any of the abuse, though. I think it's mad, if I'm honest.
Yeah, no, obviously, man. Like, I don't know. To be honest with you, like, this whole refereeing thing for me, I just think it's mad. I think it's absolutely mad. Like, especially Arsenal fans. Yeah, I think Arsenal fans are the worst by a country mile. Yeah, I don't know why you always have to speak about the referees. Yeah, you're always going on like they're absolute clangers. I don't think it was a clanger. I really don't. I don't think it's a clanger. The guy's late. Yeah, he's. I think he's out of control. I think it's a reckless challenge, and he's caught the guy above his ankle. So, do I think it's? Do I want to see them given for red cards? Don't know. But I think I can understand why the referees give it, and I'd be surprised if the red card got overturned. To be honest with you, because it's a dangerous tackle. It's a reckless tackle. So I just think it's mad. On the on the car bombing thing, these people are unhinged, isn't it? These people are not wired right, mate. Yeah, they're not wired right. Like, how are you literally threatening to bomb someone's car? Like, what is all that about? What? Because your football team lost? I was saying, man, like, these people need to start holding their own teams accountable and their own players accountable and their own managers. All they ever do, these guys, is just look at referees first of all. I think it's madness. I honestly genuinely think it's absolutely crazy.
What I would
And
say,
Arsenal
LB,
fans are the
what I would
worst
say,
out of every single team in this league.
now what I would say, and I agree with you, the last statement there, I think we are terrible. Normally, when a referee makes a decision that impacts a game, a result, that's why Arsenal fans go mad. So, for example, if we draw the game, it's the referee. If we lose the game, it's the referee. The only thing I will say about this is if it was a bad decision, it didn't actually impact the game in the end. It could have, but we won for it. We got 3 points, so no one's really as mad about it as it is. I just don't understand how that is a red card. Now, you're making a good point that he's late and that it's potentially reckless, but I don't think there's any kind of. I've seen incidents like that a lot that haven't been given, and I think that's the crazy thing is the inconsistency of it. If that's a red card, cool. I want to see him given every week then. And we won't. We won't because there'll be inconsistencies again. So that's the frustrating part about it. So if we're going to say that's a red card by the letter of the rules, and people have said in the chat have said, yeah, it's the letter of the rule, it's a red card. It don't work like that, does it? The inconsistency is crazy. And then how the João Gomez one on Timber is a yellow card. So that means if he wasn't on a yellow, he wouldn't be sent off for that. It's just mad. Yeah, and that's the same referee looking at the same incident in the same game. That's why people get the ump. That's why people get frustrated. I'm with you on the Arsenal thing. We do make a massive, massive fuss about it as a fan base. And I've been one that says that we do. You know I have. And I've done it on shows with both of you. And I've said that our fan base are a nightmare. We never look at the result. We always look at the referee first. That's what we do. And even we probably did that again at the weekend. We won the game. What we moaning about? So I think we need to look at that and say, yeah, that is the incident. And that's why we're frustrated as a fan base. And I will stand by those that are frustrated for the first time in a long time and say, yeah, I understand why you're frustrated by that isolated incident. That's what I will say about it.
Before I jump in, I just want to shout out. We spoke about them a few times this week. I think some of these referees could do with this and some of the unhinged people to sort their heads out. But it's a bit of magic mind. This stuff helps your concentration, helps you sleep, helps you exercise. It is just a great shot of goodness every morning and every night before you go to bed. And for me, something that's really important, it helps me with my mental health issues that I had with my anxiety around my health, which the only way I really fix it is by getting a little bit healthier. And boys, trust me, you've got to try this out. It's just one. I hope this is a bag I've opened already because I had a shot this morning. Little shot like this, full of loads of goodness, a bit of Magic Mind every single morning. It's absolutely bob on. And I spoke to Magic Mind and a 45% discount we can get the viewers on this. So if you want to try it, they give a money back guarantee. So if it doesn't work for you, if you don't like it, you can get your money back. But we can also get you a 45% discount if you scan the QR code on the screen or click on the link below. But if you are someone that's trying to get fit, trying to get healthy, trying to get your mind sorted out, if you need help with sleeping, you want to be able to concentrate better and have more energy in the day, Magic Mind is the one for you. And I loved it actually when they reached out to me because I saw them. Joe Rogan takes them and I watched him talk about it. I was like, oh, I'd like that. Then they reached out to me. So that's my little connection to Rogan. It's tiny. It's not very good, but that's all I got. So
It's tiny.
it's a bit of pause there. So go check the website out, people, at the end of the show. Amazing product. It life changer for me, a game changer with my health and stuff like that. So go and check it out and see whether it works for you. I get where you're both coming from. I disagree that it's a red card. I don't think it is, but then there is some subjectivity to that, and that's fair enough. We can get into that in a minute. For me, where I agree with you though, LB, the unhinged people. The problem is with the unhinged people is they ruin it for the normal folk. So I do call out the referees a lot. I'll have people say I only do it for Arsenal. No, you can go back as far as Cucurella's hair being pulled against Spurs 3 seasons ago. Viral videos of me talking about it. I call out inconsistencies. So I don't mind that they gave a red card for this, but they stated unequivocally afterwards, any studs that touch above the ankle is a red card. Those were their words. Paraphrasing slightly. Studs, contact above the ankle, that is a red card. No excuse, right decision. Literally 20 minutes later in the game, there's a tackle where studs make contact above the ankle, a yellow was given. There was another game on Saturday where a similar tackle happens, nothing given. And you can go back, and there's a litany of examples, right back to Doku kicking McAllister in the chest. I think the chest is above the ankle, no red card given. And that isn't, again, the problem is a tribalism. That's not me trying to dig out City. I'm stating they'll make a statement to defend their decision. And I think Mark Chapman on the BBC got this spot on. He said they will look at the rule book and they'll find a way to justify it. And some fans will go, there you go, Arsenal justified. And then you start looking at multiple other decisions where they haven't used the rule book. That's my problem with it. It's not that it's Arsenal. It isn't that it's City. And if people really are true followers of the football terrace, I've defended most teams and I've criticized decisions that have benefited teams. It doesn't make sense. I'll give you an example. Lissandro Martinez did it again on Sunday where he stamps down with 2 feet. Now, I think it's a red card tackle. However, he's done it twice now, and twice the VAR haven't given it as a red. So they have set what is now an objective standard that doing that tackle straight down onto the ground is not a red card. What becomes a joke is if Haaland does it this weekend and he's given a straight red card. That's when I will call it out and say, hang on, how can you not send off Lissandro with a review but send off Haaland? Now, if Haaland is different because he's flying through the air, it's towards a player's leg and he makes contact, you can argue there's a distinction. But if it's practically the same, it doesn't make any sense. So I feel like I totally agree. All the amoebas out there sending death threats. Well, I saw, and this is the Gooners that think they're doing their club a favor by finding his address. By the way, it wasn't his address. It'll be a service address for his business. It would never, people don't have their home address on company's house. It's not what they do. But it's like all the Arsenal fans doing that, you're undoing any credibility you've got. You're losing any moral high ground you have in these conversations. Equally, you're right, because on Saturday, I still criticized Kai Havertz's finishing as an example, and that was poor. And you can have that I think we have the brain capacity as grown-ups to say Kai Havertz was really bad today. Our brilliant performance from Calafiori when he came on. The referee was awful. We need to go out in the market and do. I think those 3 or 4. What I find online now is very noisy groups only focus on the referee or want to completely and utterly ignore it and go, we should never be speaking about it. I think both groups are completely and utterly wrong. We need to have honest and balanced conversations about this. But my biggest issue is the PGMOL in itself, and it's whether it helps Arsenal one week or it goes against them the next. And I was calling it out when Man United, the decisions that went against United in the FA Cup. And I know there wasn't VAR to rectify some of those, or there was VAR maybe. I'm not too sure if there was VAR. Maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. I can't remember. But we called it out. So I don't think Arsenal are targeted week in, week out with a conspiracy to stop them winning. Absolutely. But do I think there is incompetent refereeing where they literally make themselves out to be hypocrites almost every single week? Absolutely. And I think that as fans, we need to I think we can call that out while still criticizing teams underperforming at football. I actually think we can do both of those things.
Right,